What is your passion? Is it also watching emotional sports montages on YouTube? Is it doing skincare routines? And why aren't you doing that passion full time? Wait, you don't know your passion? Well, that's your problem. Countless dollars are spent megaphoning that message to us. And if you're like me, that passion message leaves you with a burning sense of frustration. In this video, we are going to talk about the 3 lies that involve your work and your passion. Lie number 1 is that you need to know your passion. Vulnerable job seekers, especially those who are just starting out, spend truckloads of money on career aptitude tests and books and courses about finding their passion, and usually those are a waste of time. They're better off just asking ChatGPT or Jeeves the Butler or a Magic 8-Ball, depending on their generation, for those answers, because at least those sources will save them time and money, and the quality of those answers will probably be no worse. The harsh reality is that no amount of research or books or courses in which you try to discover your passion will lead to a moment where you magically deduce what your passion is. Even the informational interviews that comprise our job search strategy called the 100 March will never lead to a light bulb moment where you suddenly know what you're passionate about forever. If you're unsure about what you want or what you might be passionate about, the only way to uncover that is to try new experiences, new jobs, new opportunities that challenge you, because no book about parachutes will give you that answer. Lie number 2 is that our passions do not change. Dan Gilbert is a Harvard professor whose TED Talks have been viewed more than 20 million times, and he's also the author of a great book called Stumbling on Happiness. And in that book, he talks about this illusion called the end of history illusion. Basically, the idea of the end of history illusion is that we mistakenly believe that we'll feel tomorrow the same way that we feel today. And no matter how many times we look back on our past selves and laugh at how stupid we were, we rarely take that lesson and apply it to ourselves in the future. We readily acknowledge how much we have changed and how much our tastes and, dare I say, passions have changed from the past to the present, and we discount how much all of that will change from the present to the future. It's the idea that history ends today, so this is mostly how things will be going forward. The end of history illusion is an illusion because change never stops. Each year, 98% of the atoms in your body are replaced, so you literally become a different person year over year. If you are 25 or 35 and are trying to decide what that version of you in 20 years is going to want, it's easy to forget how much your wants and needs are going to change. I think it's great to attempt to minimize future regret through the decisions that we make day in and day out, but I think it's equally important to accept the fact that we just don't know who we're going to be down the line and be at peace with that. And above all, remember that your passions are subject to change because you are subject to change whether you like it or not. Lie number 3 is that you need to make money from your passion. In his book, So Good They Can't Ignore You, Cal Newport calls this passion hypothesis dangerous and misleading for most people. We hear about the outlier stories of artists and athletes, but Newport notes that since the widespread acceptance in America of this passion hypothesis in the 1970s, there has been a measurable decline in the reported job satisfaction amongst young Americans. If your favorite thing to do is not the same thing as what you do every day for money, there's this weird pressure and notion that you're selling out. For example, if you're a lawyer who loves playing basketball more than anything in the world, it does not mean that you should quit your job and go play street ball every single day. In fact, it's probably better to have money and be one of those grown men who wears Kobe Bryant jerseys in public than it is to quit your job and end up sleeping on a basketball court because you have no home. I used to do improv comedy with a woman in her 20s who was working a very low-paying job so that she could focus as much time as possible on getting better at comedy. And eventually she decided to spend her evenings taking classes to be a software engineer, and as soon as she got her next job, she literally quadrupled her income overnight, and most important, she did not have to cut back at all on the time that she spent practicing and performing comedy. She also knew that if her passion took off, she could still do that full-time and quit her day job. And I know there are many people out there who argue that the best motivator is to cut the safety net and do what you love full-time, but in reality, you don't have to, and there are endless case studies of people who worked jobs for good money and pursued what they loved on the side, and later on were able to do what they love for a living. So to recap the 3 lies, lie number 1 is that you need to know your passion. In reality, the only way to uncover what you love, or dare I say, your passion, is to try new things, new experiences, new jobs. There's an industry built on the back of this idea that you can magically uncover your passion, but you're not going to do that overnight, although they will still take your money. Line number 2 is that your passions do not change. In reality, your passions change because you change a lot. Line number 3 is that you need to make money from your passion. Your passion might have nothing to do with your job, and that's perfectly okay. And you can still seek a job that will maximize your income and your lifestyle. Those lifestyle and income goals are what I want to help you achieve with these videos and with my book. So like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content about finding a job that will allow you to maximize your income and your lifestyle, even if they don't align to exactly what you thought you'd be doing when you were 7 years old.